Donald Trump's idiocy is once again crashing our economy because not only did the slew of posts that Donald Trump put up on Truth Social this morning lead to more questions around his cognitive ability, but they are crashing the stock market. Once again, Donald Trump is losing his mind, throwing a tariff tantrum, and destroying the economy for his own gain as he and his buddies insider trade. We are going to get into it all in the insane threat of denaturalization that Donald Trump also put out this morning in his meltdown. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting the work that we're doing. Now, before we can get into these insane posts and how the market is reacting, I want to start with someone who gave the perfect description of what Donald Trump's tariff meltdowns show in his cognitive decline, and that's Lawrence O'Donnell right here.
Because they apparently know nothing about the subject of tariffs or the Great Depression, and who knows what else. The shame of the White House press corps and the Trump campaign press corps is their disgraceful failure to be able to confront Donald Trump about his lies about who pays the Trump tariffs. That is the simplest lie Donald Trump tells about tariffs, which has become a huge subject in his presidency that no White House press reporter is apparently capable of understanding. And Donald Trump has never been confronted on that lie by the White House press corps. If an individual member of the White House press corps does understand all of this about tariffs and has been unfairly blocked by the Trump people or colleagues in the room from being able to ask that question, I hereby apologize to that unknown reporter for lumping that reporter in with the genuinely disgraceful job that the larger group has done in their complete failure to penetrate that very simple lie. But the public knows. The public knows much better than the White House press corps that Donald Trump is lying about who pays the tariffs. On this, the American public, much, much smarter than your average White House reporter. A new poll shows 81% of Americans are very concerned or somewhat concerned about the impact of tariffs on their personal finances. And I have absolutely no doubt that 81% of the White House press corps do not know how tariffs work. And not one of those 81% of the public who do know, who are completely correct in their concern, have had any Trump at all, any help at all in comprehending the Trump tariffs from the White House press corps. What would happen? What would happen if Donald Trump turned on a White House press reporter and said, why don't you tell me about tariffs?
Donald Trump does not know what he's doing. And anyone who wants to claim 4D chess or that he's 5 steps ahead, he's focused on American manufacturing, but at the same time, he wants to lower costs, but also he's bringing jobs back, but also I don't know. There's a million different arguments that people make on behalf of and against tariffs at the same time that they're claiming no matter what Donald Trump does, it is perfect and right. But not even Donald Trump knows what he's doing. It's the reason why we have the taco, because Trump is always chickening out due to the fact that he doesn't really feel all that committed to these tariffs. They just make him feel strong and tough. Just take a listen to what he said right here as a perfect explanation for what the real plan is.
Some deals. We can make a lot more deals. It's just too time-consuming. It just makes it more complicated. And we can do things over the years too. You know, we're not hard line, but it's about time the United States of America started collecting money from countries that were ripping us off and laughing behind our back at how stupid we were.
So we went from 90 deals in 90 days that the phone was ringing off the hook to we're extending the deadline, but the deadline had always been extended, to it's really a soft deadline, and now we're at the point that it is years it may take before we have gotten all these trade deals done, trade deals that countries don't seem to really want to engage with at all. That's what's happening. Yeah, and it's only getting worse because the stock market is tanking after what Donald Trump decided to post this morning. The first insane post Donald Trump put out was because of the fact that Rosie O'Donnell is not in the best interest of our great country. I am giving serious consideration to taking away her citizenship. She is a threat to humanity and should remain in the wonderful country of Ireland. If they want her, God bless America. Trump then went on to announce 30% tariffs on the EU and Mexico starting August 1st. Because of that, the Dow has fallen 280 points, S&P logs weekly loss as Trump trade war is escalating. Trump announcing 30% tariffs on EU and Mexico imports now also has Bitcoin dropping as well. The stock market is tumbling right now and will likely drop in a similar fashion to that we saw on Liberation Day, but Donald Trump doesn't care. In fact, he's encouraged by it. We have to remember this is simply just a scheme for Donald Trump to get what he thinks is good PR, but also for his buddies who know when these Truth Social posts are going out to time the market. This has just been an insider trading scam for Donald Trump and his rich friends, and especially members of Congress who are timing these posts with what they are purchasing and selling off. It's just a rich get richer scenario, which is all Donald Trump's presidency has been. It is the reason we are seeing so much backlash from even those MAGA loyalists who supported Donald Trump over the past decade. And it's not just in his failure of an economic policy, it's also in his failed immigration policy as well, which Jen Psaki broke down right here.
Okay, something we should all know about Donald Trump by now, something that has been true for his entire life, something he has shown to us over and over again is this. If Donald Trump is sitting on a bunch of capital, he's going to squander it. Whether it's due to greed or hubris or just plain incompetence, he just has this never-ending tendency to overextend himself. And this applied long before he entered politics. I mean, the business world learned it when Trump squandered the money he inherited from his father. Big banks learned it in the 90s when he was so close to defaulting, they had to bail him out just to save themselves. Atlantic City learned it when Trump managed to disprove that old saying about how the house always wins by bankrupting his casino empire. Perhaps that's a little on the nose. But money isn't the only kind of capital that Trump squanders in spectacular fashion. It's also political capital. And that's most apparent right now on Trump's signature issue, immigration. Remember, voters who said immigration was their most important issue broke for Trump last November by a whopping 80-point margin. That was not that long ago, 80 points. And in the days and months since that election, we've repeatedly heard that the immigration issue is what propelled Trump back into the White House.
Voters handed down a mandate. They want illegal immigration to end.
President Trump won because of the border.
Trump won because of the border.
He won because of the open border issue.
It was primarily because of illegal immigration.
President Trump won because of his immigration stance.
This is insanity. This is why Trump won.
Okay, so that's been the narrative. We've all heard that 1,000 times. But now take a look at this. Less than 6 months into his presidency, a new Gallup poll today finds that Americans disapprove of Trump's handling of immigration by a whopping 27-point margin. Just 35% of Americans approve of his immigration agenda. And it's not just Democrats or swing voters driving those numbers. It was less than a year ago that a majority of Republicans, 61% to be exact, said they agreed with Trump's incendiary claim that immigrants are, quote, poisoning the blood of our country. But now, today in this poll, 64% of Republicans say that immigration is good for the country, according to today's Gallup poll. Likewise, just last year, only 45% of Republicans thought immigrants in the country illegally should be given a path to citizenship. And today, that number in this poll is 59%. And it's not just polls that show Trump is losing ground on this. I mean, some of Trump's biggest allies are abandoning him on his #1 priority. According to the Washington Post, conservative podcaster Joe Rogan, who was key to Trump's victory, confronted Trump directly about his cruel deportation agenda. According to the Post, Rogan pushed Trump to back off deporting workers who have not committed crimes. And just 3 days after having dinner with Trump, Rogan went on his podcast and said this.
There's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up in construction sites and raiding them, gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
So it only took 6 months for Trump to lose support from the American public, even Joe Rogan, on what was supposed to be his signature policy issue. He's blowing through his political capital like it was a loan from his father, is one way of looking at it. And the reason he's lost ground so quickly on this issue isn't hard to figure out. I mean, Americans all across the country are seeing the shocking brutality of Trump's immigration crackdown play out in their own neighborhoods every day.
It was another morning of work on Tuesday for employees at the Alba Wine and Spirits warehouse in Edison, New Jersey, when Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents stormed the facility.
A coach for youth baseball in Manhattan says a group of ICE agents approached members of his team while they were practicing in Riverside Park.
This is video of what seems like an ICE arrest taken Saturday outside of Cash America Pawn in White Center. A woman speaks in Spanish to people in face masks and vests.
HSI agents making an immigration arrest. The agents can be seen kneeling on the head of 48-year-old Juan Manuel. When the daughter tried to intervene, the agents handcuffed her and threatened to take away her little brother and her 2-year-old son if she didn't stand down.
For months now, the Trump administration has been telling the public that they are only targeting the worst of the worst in their immigration roundups. And we know that isn't true. We talk about it a lot on this show, how that is not true. Nationally, ICE has been increasingly targeting immigrants with no criminal record at all. In Los Angeles, the majority of the people ICE arrested weren't just non-criminals, but non-criminals picked up off the street. Back in May, Trump aide Stephen Miller instituted a new, impossible-to-meet quota for ICE. He demanded that ICE arrest 3,000 people every single day. And NBC News reporting today that Stephen Miller has expressed outrage in recent calls with ICE leadership about how the agency has not been meeting that impossibly high quota. Many ICE leaders are worried they could lose their jobs because they aren't rounding up enough people. And while DHS continues to insist that their immigration roundups are targeted, all across the country we're seeing the same thing again and again and again. People being targeted at car washes and grocery stores and on street corners, without any obvious reason for detaining them other than the color of their skin or the language that they speak.
Now is a time like we have really never had before to message against this administration. The tent is widening every single day. It's getting bigger. More people are disaffected by Donald Trump, and it is our responsibility to communicate his failures and make sure we bring them in to this opposition. We're certainly going to be doing so on this show, and if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.